there, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
We are Love to Hate.
And today we're taking a look at Earthenwar by Lazy Poet Games.
In Earthenwar, you and another player are going to control massive golems. And this is a skirmish game in which you are going to be battling it out with the other player, trying to destroy their golem using dice placement and trying to maneuver your character around strategically so that you can strike your opponent but not let them strike you in return. This has got some really unique mechanics in it. Takes place during trench warfare, World War I type atmosphere with some golem magic mixed into it. So lots going on with this one. Let's take a look at it down below and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on this. All right, so this is Earthenwar. And everything you see in this segment of the video is going to be prototype. The final artwork, components, maybe some of the rules might be a little different when the final product is released from the Kickstarter, so just keep that in mind. And the name of this game is perhaps a little bit of a play on words of Earthenware, as the main golem pieces here in the upgraded Kickstarter edition of this game are ceramic. These are ceramic pieces. I don't know if you can hear my ring bang against that, but these are thick, heavy pieces, really cool to play with. And those are going to be your golems that you are playing with. You can see that the standard edition is going to come with these giant golem-like meeples. The little tiny meeples are going to be part of a module that you can add into this game once you learn the rules of the basic game if you want. And in this game, you and one other player are going to be battling it out in trench warfare. This takes place perhaps in World War I times. And one player will start on this side of the battlefield where the other one will start on that side of the battlefield. And you are controlling this golem, trying to defeat the other person's golem. And you do that using these dice and your control player board here. And this is where majority of the game is going to take place, is on your control board. What you are going to be doing on your turn is you're going to be strategically deciding whether you want to take new dice or improve or decrease the dice you already have, strategically placing them on this control panel to move your golem about the board and to attack in different directions. White dice are going to allow you to move your golem, and black dice are going to allow you to attack. Both players will start with a white 1 on the full black moon symbol here, and that will be in the same direction as this black arrow. That black arrow is going to be the direction your golem is going to face the entire game. At the beginning of your turn, what you are going to do is you're going to decide whether you want to increase or decrease one of your dice that you already have on your board by 1 value. So I could change this one to become a 2. And real quick, these are not standard D6 dice. They are only going to have 1s, 2s, and 3s on them, a pair of each. And so I could change a 1 to become a 2 to become a 3, or I could decrease a 3 to become a 2 to become a 1. If I don't want to do that, my other option is I can take a new die, black or white, and I will roll it and decide where I want to place it on any one of these symbols. And those symbols are the same directions. I've got north, south, east, west, and then I've got the diagonals as well. And so I rolled a 3, so I might put that right here. After you have decided whether you're going to increase or decrease a die, or you are going to take a new die, then the next thing you will do is you'll decide if you want to do a swap. If you look on this board here, you can see that there are some pathways facing different directions from each of the different spots on the board. And that's to tell you that from this position, you could swap a die that's right here with a die that's here, 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 or here. Whereas in this position, you could only swap with a die that were here or here. Now, you don't necessarily have to swap with a die, as I did right there. I could swap those two. You could swap with nothing. So I could swap right here, and there would be nothing there in that spot, or I could follow this pathway here and swap with nothing there. Now, that's optional. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. But after you've done all the swapping you're going to do, then the next thing is that you are going to use your dice one at a time to decide how you're going to plan out your move for that turn. And you don't have to use all of your dice. You can use just some of them. So When you use a die, you move it forward to the corresponding star space. So for instance, I moved that one, so I'm going to move my golem 1 space forward. And to give you an idea of how attacking would work, let's just pretend that this black golem were right there. And I could attack with my black 3 at a forward left diagonal, like that. Now when you're attacking, they have to be in the exact spot that number of spaces away. So for instance, I could not attack with the 2, and if they were here, for instance, and they were only 2 diagonal spaces away, I could not attack with the 3. So they would have to be right there, and in fact, they are right where I need them to be, so I would attack. And when you do damage in this game, you're going to place these damage tokens that have the same artwork as the spaces on the board. You can see that that spot right there matches that type of spot, whereas these are going to match your corner spots right there. And so I did attack that person from a diagonal angle, and so they are going to take damage in the corresponding space that matches the same space that I attacked from, because thematically I am punching or hitting this golem in its forward left angle spot, which is the same spot on the player board here, and they would take a damage token or counter right there, like so. And when you do attack with a black die, it does decrease in value by 1. If you attack with a 1, the black die goes away back to the pile. And that's the gist of the game. What you are trying to accomplish, though, is you're trying to get 3 in a row on the other player's player board. So this is a little bit like tic-tac-toe in the sense that I want 3 right here, or 3 right here, or even diagonally. Now, the only way you can attack the center space, though, is you have to attack a space that's already been attacked once. And then, in that case, if I were to attack here again, then I'm going to roll a pair of white and black dice, and I would go off the coordinates here, white 1, black 2, that would give me this spot right here. And so I would need to roll a 2 and a 2 to attack the middle spot right there. That's the gist of it, though. The first player to get 3 in a row is going to win. As I mentioned, there are some modules for this game. There are several, actually. There are some that allow you to put these blocked off spaces somewhere out on the board. There are modules that allow you to use the soldier meeples, which are these little tiny meeples, and you're going to place this on the far side of one board, one side of the board, and you're trying to move that soldier all the way to the other side of the board without the other golem destroying it. And if you can do so, you win the game that way as well. There are several others, but I will leave you guys to check out the Kickstarter page to see what those are all about. That is how you play Earthenwar. Let's go back up top and we'll share our thoughts on this. All right, we're back. And now Sam and I are going to share our thoughts on Earthenwar and a little bit of what we thought about it, what we liked, and specifically what a non-gamer thinks of this game. So Sam, first impressions when you see this on the table, you've got these really nice ceramic hard piece golems here. And you've got all these dice. What were your first thoughts on it?
That it was creepy. And it's very dark. I thought it would be a very dark, sinister. I didn't know how to play the game at all when I first saw it set up, so I didn't really know what to expect, but that's kind of where my thought went. It's a very dark colored game.
Right.
And I think these are creepy as heck. I mean, they're fun and it is a good game, but when you first see these, I mean, they're creepy.
I really like these pieces here.
They feel good to move. They're good.
They're heavy.
Yes.
Very heavy.
Creepy.
I think it goes along with the theme. Yes. I mean, this is a war game, and it's trench warfare at that. Actually, a very dreadful place to be.
It actually reminds me of Monty Python in Search of the Holy Grail, which is not creepy, but
no, it's very funny.
Yeah.
I can see that for sure, but. Yeah, no, I think the golems, the way they look, it goes with the theme, and you've got this mysticism, kind of this mystical, magic mixed in with the golem creatures, and you being able to control the golem. I think it's really cool. I think it does kind of have that, oh, this is kind of creepy vibe to it. But you mentioned it's fun. What did you like about this game?
It is very chess-like. It's very strategic, and I like that. it's a thinking game. It's a quiet game.
Yes. Yeah.
I like it. It's two people. You're sitting very much like chess. You're sitting and contemplating, and turns take a bit of time because you have to have that time to really contemplate what you're doing.
Right. To go into what Sam is talking about, it being like chess, this is a very tactical game.
Yeah.
This is one in which you are really kind of thinking through where your dice are at and how you can plan out your turn and what's going to happen on your opponent's turn, because you can see their dice too, and you can get an idea of what their next turn is going to look like, or at least a vague idea of what it might look like. And being able to kind of gauge off of that and play into that it's a lot of fun.
But at the same time, it's very thinky, it's very strategic, but it's simplistic in that you're just, this is the only two pieces on the board.
Right, yeah.
That's it. You have a lot of dice that you're moving, so it's very different than anything I've ever, it's almost like you have this control panel and you're working on this robot. And I didn't think I would like that. In the first game I did win, I think it was pure luck. And I was like, okay, the second game, Lance won, but I think I thought about my process a lot more.
The second game lasted probably twice as long as the first game, because the first game we were just kind of, learning how it worked, and we just rushed through it. The second game we really started to unwrap just how thinky this game is.
Yeah.
Because
and then I kept moving the wrong directions and
well, it's just like every turn is trying to figure out this code puzzle, because there's some coding involved in this game a little bit, I feel like, because where you have your dice can determine how your golem moves and how it strikes, and you can arrange those just a little bit each time. You can adjust them just a little bit each time. But you kind of have to think, okay, so this is what my golem can do this turn, but if I switch this up, then I can do a little bit of a different thing here.
Technically, if your opponent is good enough, they could get you in 3 moves.
Yeah.
And it's not likely, but they could. So it's not like you have, okay, well, this move I'll just move around, this move I'll attack. You really have to be thinking,
every
can
move
I
is
do
very
both?
important. Yeah. Every move is so important in this game, and it feels like that the decisions you make leading up to your movement, the very last thing you do on your turn, are just as important. Should I get another die this time? If I get another die, should it be to move? Should it be to attack?
Yeah.
Where do I put it on this board? The choices are very compelling in this game. I feel like there's a lot of agency. It's very strategic. The only a bit of luck is when you take a die and you roll it, and you're going to get a 1, a 2, or a 3. That's the only luck in this game. Everything else is strategic, and man, I really like this one. For me, this is a game, if somebody is a fan of chess, I'm going to say, hey, you like chess? We need to try this out, because this is like 21st century chess. This is modern board gaming chess.
We're actually excited to try this with our 9-year-old who does know the basics of chess and is into coding. And so I think my only complaint about this game is the control panel being so detailed. I mean, as an adult, I can figure it out, but it's a lot visually to try to figure out. I feel like if they could have simplified it just a little bit, or even if the other side of it could be like more of a simplified version for, it does say 10 plus for that younger group or non-gamers. I feel like that would make it just a little bit more palatable.
Now, while you say that, and I do see where she's coming from, folks, but in my opinion, when I look at the board and I see those path lines of where you can swap your dice and where you can move them around the board, to me that really works. And I see it, and it visually works for me. So
I had a hard time remembering. I constantly was asking Lance, okay, I can do this and I can do that. So if it's a non-gamer, if it's 2 non-gamers, I think it could be kind of confusing. If it's a non-gamer and a gamer, I think there needs to be a relationship there where the gamer is going to be able to accept that the non-gamer may have a lot of questions.
You might want to have some mulligans built in. I didn't mean to do that. Let me take that back.
I think it's a great game for 2 gamers. But it's not impossible for a non-gamer.
Well, here's the thing on this one, folks. I think this is one that after you've played it 3 times, it's really going to start to click. And when it does click, I feel like this is going to knock it out of the park with a lot of people. There is a little bit of having to wrap your mind around the coding aspect and the way the board works and controlling the golem. But once you get that understood, you know this game, or I shouldn't say you know this game, but you know the idea behind this game.
Once you're not having to use your brain to think of, okay, what can I do this time? What can I do the next time? I think you have more brain power capacity to think about strategy.
Yeah.
So once you've played it enough to feel like, okay, I know how to move these dice, what I can do with the dice, then you can just focus on the strategy. And I think that's when it can get a lot more fun.
Right. But as it is, I really enjoyed this. This was one that I was very happy to get to the table and play. There's several other scenarios in the back of the rule book that we want to try out. There's spots on the board that are blocked off. There are, you have a little soldier that you're trying to move to the other side of the board that you have to worry about, because if your opponent gets their soldier on your side of the board, then you lose. So you're trying to, take out their soldier and their golem.
I'm never going to let you add stuff to this game.
Hey,
I figured it out this way. We don't need to.
This game is awesome, guys. I really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. Yeah. So this is Earthenwar. It's Lazy Poets Games, and it's on Kickstarter right now. So make sure to check out that link down below. Check out their campaign and go back this game.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.